Good.
Okay, everybody, good evening. I'd like to call the September 7th, 2021 virtual meeting of the North Bend City Council to order. Can the clerk please confirm the roll?
All council members are present with the exception of Council Member Rosen, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. On tonight's consent agenda, we have 9 items. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, motion by Mr. Gothelf, second by Mr. Lodenbach. All in favor?
Aye.
All against? Okay, the motion carries and is unanimous 6-0. Okay, citizens' comments. Now is the time for members of the public to come forward to speak on items that are not on the consent agenda. If you'd like to speak, please indicate using the chat feature or *9 on your phone, and Ms. Maskell will call on you when it's your time to speak. Really just state your name and address for the record, and will be allowed 3 minutes to speak.
Give it a second. I'm not seeing anybody yet. I think we're good.
Okay, next is announcements, presentation, and appointments. I don't know how I have to do a proclamation, right? How does this fall on a day that I'm here? Okay, so this is Senior Center Month. And so on behalf of Mayor McFarland, the Office of Mayor Proclamation reads as follows. Whereas older Americans are significant members of our society, investing their wisdom and experience to help enrich and better the lives of younger generations. And whereas the Mount Si Senior Center has acted as a catalyst for mobilizing the creativity, energy, vitality, and commitment of the older residents of North Bend. And whereas through the wide array of services, programs, and activities, our community senior center empowers older citizens of North Bend to contribute to their own health and well-being and the health and well-being of their fellow citizens of all ages. And whereas during the pandemic, Mount Si Senior Center has been a community partner in ensuring that our most vulnerable citizens, people aged 65 and older, many with underlying medical conditions, are cared for and capable and able to stay safe and healthy. And whereas the Mount Si Senior Center affirms the dignity, self-worth, and independence of older persons by facilitating their decisions and actions, tapping their experiences, skills, and knowledge, and enabling their continued contributions to the community. Now, therefore, I, Chris Garcia, on behalf of Mayor McFarland, do hereby proclaim September 2021 as Senior Center Month in the city of North Bend, and call upon all citizens to recognize the special contributions of the Senior Center participants and their special efforts of the staff and volunteers who work every day to enhance the well-being of older citizens in our community. And I thought that Sue was going to come, but I guess we don't see her at this point in time. So maybe if she comes at the end, we'll hop back and give her a chance to speak. Okay, that takes us to introductions. Introduction AB 21094, an ordinance authorizing the franchise agreement with Tanner Electric. Mr. Rigos, would you like to give a staff report?
I sure would. Thanks, Chris. Hope you guys can hear me okay. Inside your council packet, we have an agenda bill, we have an ordinance, and we also have the franchise agreement. This is just a first reading tonight, so the second reading would be September 21st. Tanner Electric, they provide dry utilities to the east side of North Bend city limits, and they've been a good partner of the city for the last several decades. The city of North Bend had a franchise agreement between Tanner Electric for 20 years, from 1984 to 2004, I believe, and then it just lapsed. But it's been pretty much business as usual for the most part, but we're just trying to do some housekeeping, tie up loose ends. So the franchise agreement was prepared by myself, Dan Marcinko, and also with our city attorney, Mike Kenyon's support. Again, this is a first reading. Some of the sections in the franchise agreement just talk about undergrounding or relocation of existing facilities, vegetation management, that type of stuff. So again, this is just a first reading. If there's any questions or comments, happy to take those tonight. And I think we have Mike Kenyon here as well. So that concludes my staff report.
Okay, thanks, Mark. Council, any clarifying questions? Heather?
I read that like it was expired since 2004 and is that normal? And I don't know. I'm fine with this. I want to go forward. I'm just curious about the timeline.
Yeah, I'd say it's a little bit unusual. We should probably have these franchise agreements for Comcast, Puget Sound Energy, Salal Water Association, Lumen, any company, any franchise that's using our public right of way and is doing construction work or has permanent facilities in there, they really should have a franchise agreement between the city and themselves. It's in everybody's best interest to spell out obligations and responsibilities.
So Mark, that's kind of a good point. I think that maybe for the benefit of the public, correct me if I'm wrong, but it is one of the main points of having a franchise agreement is that we know what's going on in our right of way and easements and streets, but also it sets the standard, which is our standard of how the work and repairs to those should be taken care of.
Absolutely. So if they're doing a pavement patch job, they have to meet City of North Bend Public Works standards, not some other state or some other city standards. You bet it ties them to repair right of ways to our standards.
Yes, thank you. Okay, any other clarifying questions? Okay, would any member of the public wish to speak? Please indicate in the chat or star 9 on your phone. Okay, Mr. Walter.
I can't get my video on. Looks like I'm still off from the organizer, but I assume you can hear me at least.
Yes.
Okay, no, I'm just coming on to say thank you for consideration of the franchise agreement. I've been working for Tanner for, oh God, almost 20 plus years now. We've always had a really good relationship with the city. We serve probably about, I would say between 20 and 25% of the residents in the city of North Bend, but a larger majority on the outskirts and unincorporated parts of King County around North Bend. Again, you know, we are happy to work with you guys. I feel like the feeling's mutual. We do quite a bit of community work. One of the things that the cooperative principles is concern for the community. So we put a lot of volunteer hours in, support into the community, and that's what we do because our members are our owners. So instead of returning money back to investors, it goes to our members and back out through the communities we serve, and that's what we love to do. That's what makes my job so easy. So I just wanted to say thank you for consideration, and look forward to any discussion or any questions, and feel free to let me know what you need.
Okay, thank you. Any other members? Okay, could I get a motion from the chair of the TPW Get Her Done Committee?
Absolutely. Thank you, Your Honor. Motion to approve AB 21-094, setting for a second reading and consideration by the City Council, the ordinance to approve a franchise agreement with Tanner Electric Cooperative at the regularly scheduled September 21st, 2021 City Council meeting.
I think this is supposed to be a first reading though, is it not? I know it says second reading. And
It's setting for a second reading. So this is the first reading. It's setting, the motion is to set the second reading.
Got it. You're, as usual, you are correct, sir. Could we get a second?
Second.
Oh, Ms. Miller. Mr. Laudenbach, would you like to speak to the motion?
I think Mark spoke to it eloquently. This is something that we should have from all of our vendors, anybody that's doing any work within the city of North Bend. And hopefully we'll get that task accomplished in the very near future with one or two notables that have been outstanding for quite a while. But Tanner Electric has always been a great partner with the city of North Bend, and I look forward to renewing this on the next meeting on the 21st. So I would recommend a do pass on this motion.
Okay, Ms. Miller?
I totally agree with Ross, what your comments are about. Tanner, I've actually have great relationships with the crews at Tanner, so I'm really pleased that we're going forward in this direction. And hopefully in the future, we'll be able to not have this kind of hiccup occur, so we're not left, in the lurch. We don't want that. So it's a good move. I hope we can go forward.
Okay, any other members of the council wish to comment? Yeah, I'll say none. I'll chime in on those sentiments myself. I mean, I know that Tanner does a lot of work for the tree lighting. I know Mr. Walter, who represents Tanner at many functions, Rotary, Chamber, on and on and on. I feel we're very lucky to have this group of people that live and work in our community and serve our community. So thank you very much. Okay. Can we get a motion? Or we got a motion, I'm sorry. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Seeing none, motion passes 6-0. And we will move this forward to the September 21st for a final and second reading. Okay, next we have ordinance amending NBMC Title 18 regarding emergency shelters and housing, AB 21095. And we have Senior Planner Mike McCarty. Would you please give us staff report?
Will do. This is pretty straightforward in that we're just bringing forward what's required by the state. So to address an aspect of the statewide homelessness and housing affordability challenge, the state legislature passed House Bill 1220, which requires cities to allow these uses: indoor emergency shelters, indoor emergency housing, permanent supportive housing, and transitional housing within certain zones by September 30th, 2021, which is coming up quick. So this House bill restricts cities from prohibiting transitional housing or permanent supportive housing for many zones in which residential dwelling units or hotels are allowed. And it restricts cities from prohibiting emergency shelters and indoor emergency housing in any zones in which hotels are allowed, with some limited exceptions. These uses are further defined in the draft municipal code amendments that are before the council, and the definitions that are provided are consistent with the state code. So the city is therefore proposing to allow these uses where required through a conditional use permit. And that is intentional to provide a process for public input, review, and consideration of potential impacts from these uses, and then providing any kind of conditions as necessary to mitigate for impacts. So the draft ordinance that's before the council amends the North Bend Municipal Code to allow these uses through that conditional use permit process, provides the definitions for these uses, and it provides limitations in the city's land use performance standards regarding occupancy, spacing, and intensity of the uses. The Planning Commission reviewed and provided a recommendation of approval on the use or on the amendments following a public hearing on July 22nd. So I'll turn it back to you, and I'm happy to address whatever questions the council may have on this.
Okay, council, any questions? Heather?
Can you give a simplistic view of what that would look like? I'm assuming that means if we have a big snowstorm, we provide hotel, I don't even know. Could you explain what that would look like?
This is actually different from emergency housing. So that's something like when FEMA would come in and provide housing at the high school or whatever during a big snowstorm or earthquake or whatever. This is not addressing that. This is addressing more issues regarding people who find themselves homeless for various situations and provide. So there's a number of different or 4 different types of housing that are provided through this. And the state is trying to address this so that jurisdictions don't outright prohibit these uses from being established. Did I answer your question, or?
Not really. I guess I need a bigger picture of for the city of North Bend specifically what we're talking about.
Yeah,
If
so
if I could help a little bit here, just a little bit wider picture, you've done a great job. Mike, explain the ordinance well. What this really is, council, is implementation of a House bill. The legislature found that cities were restricting emergency shelters and permanent supportive housing and transitional housing because they would find opposition by neighborhoods to those uses. It's pretty much a NIMBY sort of thing. And so what the legislature found, particularly with the homeless situation we're facing in the state, that local government had to loosen up their zoning regulations to provide for these kinds of uses to be located in many zoning districts. And they stipulated where they would be allowed. They did allow us enough latitude to use a conditional use permit so that if there were issues that the neighborhood was concerned about, or that we as a city were concerned about, that we could condition the use when it goes into a neighborhood. But really what this is to say that the housing problem for housing people who currently don't have housing is something that every community has to provide for in their zoning. So this is really to say to communities, don't exclude shelter for people who need it. You have to provide the zoning in your community to allow it. You can't just zone it away. Does that help?
Yeah.
Okay, any other members of council wish to ask questions? Okay, seeing none, Councilmember Miller, as the chair of the CED, can you make a motion?
Yes, motion to, oops, hold on. Sorry, I don't have my page up. Hold on here.
Mary, just say so moved.
So moved. I lost my page.
We get a second?
Second.
Okay, second by Mr. Gothel. Okay, Ms. Miller, would you like to speak to the motion to approve AB 21095, an ordinance amending NBMC Title 18 regarding emergency shelters, emergency housing, and supportive housing and transitional housing as required by HB 2020 as a first and final reading?
I would. I think we should go forward as such. So I stand behind it. I'm looking for my page right now. Sorry, everybody. Okay, so I'll make a motion. Motion to approve. Can we do that?
We did.
We already did.
Where am I?
We're good.
Yeah, I'm just gonna. We're good. I'm on board.
You're good. Mr. Gothel, would you like to speak to the motion?
Nothing more, Your Honor.
Nothing. Yeah.
And we're good, right? We've made the motion
Yes.
correctly? Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other council members wish to comment? Okay, seeing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion passes 6-0 and is unanimous. Okay, next we have
Mr.
see.
Mayor Pro Tem Susan
Yes.
Kingsbury from
Yeah.
the Senior Center is here.
That's what I was just gonna say. Susan, we've already made your proclamation. Would you like to speak to it though?
I would love to speak to it. Can I take myself off video? Sorry, I was coming from a finance committee meeting, so I apologize for being late. Thank you, everybody, for approving and recognizing Mount Si Senior Center this September, which is always, as always, Senior Center Month. It's been a super challenging time the last 18 months, especially for seniors. They're trying to navigate a whole new and dynamically changing environment where social connections are better made, not in the old fashioned ways that they know, but, via online. And so it's been hard for them to connect. So I think when we reopened in August, so many seniors told us how grateful they were that we're there for them. I would say that it doesn't look quite like it used to at this point in time. I think the Delta variant has definitely changed how people are using the senior center, but we have people that we're feeding every day, as we always have. We're helping them find other seniors, find resources, as we always have, and as we did by phone and in one-on-one outdoor meetings over the last 18 months. Our fitness classes are starting to fill up ever so slowly. And, you know, we've managed 18 months without a COVID outbreak, which I consider to be a great success. You know, I think I told you probably earlier this year, we served over 11,000 meals last year, and we're on track right now to serve close to 10,000 this year. And all of this, I mean, the meals are the things that everyone gets around. Food brings people together, as always, but so do friends. And people are using the senior center to reconnect, and it is just so joyful to see. Not sure entirely what the future looks like. All of the senior centers across King County and across this nation are trying to figure out how we help folks who aren't familiar with new ways of doing things, how we help them best. And so we try lots of different things, and some things we try and fail, and some things we try and succeed. I just think being open is successful. Being open again is successful. And I thank you for your support and for recognizing, you know, the value of a senior center in our community and the value of seniors. And thank you for just recognizing, you know, our oldest generation, the people that we, you know, built this community on. So thank you.
Thank you. Sue, could you do me a favor? Could you state your name and address for the record? Because I'm not really on the top of my game today. And
Yeah, no,
I forgot to ask that.
Yeah, Chris, I should have known that. I am Susan Kingsbury Como, Executive Director of Mount Si Senior Center. My personal address is 38010 Southeast Cedar Street, Snoqualmie, Washington, 98065. And the Senior Center is at 411 Main Avenue South in North Bend, Washington.
Thank you. I just saw our city clerk give me the smile that, hey, I caught 1 out of 2. So there you go.
Anyway,
Okay. Thank you, Sue. Okay, now on to council and administrative concerns and initiatives. Mr. Elwood.
Thank you, Your Honor. I really don't have anything tonight. I will pass the torch. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir. Mr. Gothelf.
What I have is to remind everybody that we're seeing COVID rates go up, and please follow all the mask regulations. It's important not only for you and your neighbors, and be safe out there.
Yeah. Mrs. Colon.
Nothing tonight, Your Honor.
Ms. Miller.
I'll be brief. First week of school is past now, and I'm wishing everybody a successful year. All teachers, staff, and students, of course. Be safe out there. There's lots of people on the road in the morning. We're lacking bus drivers, as everybody knows. So just be aware and drive carefully. Thank you.
Mr.
Ms. Cohen had her hand up, Your Honor. Is it Heather? Would you like to?
I changed my mind. I forgot to say, good
Oh,
job
wait,
on.
hold on a second. Heather, you're gonna have to go after Ross now. You don't just jump in on his time.
Okay.
Wow.
I'll wait.
Well, I'll be brief on your behalf, Heather. I just wanted to say, yes, be cognizant of the school kids back, and welcome back to everybody's staff and everybody who works at the schools, who make them operate, all the kitchen folks, all the bus drivers, and maintenance staff. You guys rock. Keep going, and congratulations to Mount Si on their first victory, and good luck in Yom this weekend. That's it, Your Honor.
Thank you. Councilmember Colon, would you like to jump back in?
I would like to say good job on the current roundabout construction. It is going seamlessly. Like, I haven't noticed any traffic issues, and it is just moving on like amazing. Good job. Well done.
Okay. Councilmember Garcia will go next. I would like to welcome all the kids back. I would urge parents, commuters, neighbors to the schools to exercise patience and grace. These schools were not necessarily set up for COVID-19 delivery of students. In addition to the shortage of bus drivers, a lot more parents are choosing, and I would say rightfully so, that's what they feel most comfortable with, to take their kids to school. So there's an increased number of vehicles coming in and out of our schools. I know that everybody's trying to get there. I would urge people to find alternatives to the main streets. You know, you could come around the backside of Stilson Road, you could come down 2nd or 3rd at NVE. But just realize that it's just a time to exercise patience and grace and be kind to each other. And remember, the kids in your car can hear the words that you're saying to each other as you're in gridlock there. So let's do that. Please stay safe and keep your distance. The COVID, the Delta 19 is certainly taking its toll on everybody. So please do your best on that. Mr. Miller, do you have any comments this evening?
Well, great meeting, Mayor Pro Tem. Good job.
Well, thank you.
And that's my comment for the night.
Okay. Mr. Rigos? Good. Ms. Pascal?
Nothing this evening.
Mr. Kenyon, would you like to drop some wisdom on us this evening?
Seems like we have time for a couple hours on public records.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Whoa, time out. I still have to read the mayor's notes. Okay, so you don't get to just.
Hey, the motion's been made. It's been seconded. We should get to skip the notes if he's not here to read them.
Well, you know what? Our clerk took the time to make them, and if you want to deal with her, then.
No. Go right ahead.
Would you like to withdraw your motion?
I'll withdraw my second. Go ahead.
Okay.
Does that mean we don't have to, do we still have to listen to 2 hours of Mike Canyon's talk?
Mike, too?
Clock hasn't started yet, Alan. Doesn't start till Ross or Chris is done.
Okay.
Oh, God.
Here we go. Mayor notes. From September 13th through 17th, the King County Road Services Division will conduct a week-long resurfacing and repair project on Southeast North Bend Way between I-90 and the roundabout near the Snoqualmie Casino. The nighttime work will occur from 7 p.m. to 5 a.m. and will require lane closures. Flaggers will direct traffic through the work zone. Drivers should expect delays. The work is weather dependent and subject to schedule changes, though it looks like we're in for some pretty good weather, so this should fly through. For those interested, a Patriot Day ceremony is planned for this Saturday, September 11th at 8:30 a.m. at the Railroad Park flagpole in Snoqualmie. They're short staffed, so they're just going to do the one ceremony this year. And due to the surge of COVID-19 cases caused by the more transmittable Delta variant, Governor Inslee reinstated a statewide indoor mask mandate in public settings on Monday, August 23rd. Masking at outdoor events with 500 people or more will also be required beginning in King County today. And now we have a motion to adjourn. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Mr. Kenyon, I believe the time is 7:29 exactly.
Woohoo! If it was a normal night, Mike would buy and drinks.
First round's on me.
Just send me your credit card number and I'll order my own, sir.
My wife
Just
knows
go ahead
it.
and text it to
Got to
me.
memorize.
Just go ahead and text it to me. Okay, everybody, be
Thank you,
safe.
Ray.
Have a great night, and
Thank
thank
you.
you
Bye.
for allowing
Good
me
job,
to
Chris.
this
Thanks.
evening.
Good job, Chris.
Bye, Chris.
Good job,
Good night.
Chris.